Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. How are we doing? We are about... I think we can probably finish Ace Attorney today. If I read faster than I usually do, I hope I'll be able to finish this chapter. Hey, Beetle. Hey, Devin. Hi, Weiss. I hope your Monday has been going well. But yes, I think from what I saw last time, I only have like 2 segments left. One more to be continued. So I think I'll be able to finish this today. Fingers crossed. The playthrough on YouTube looks like there's only an hour and like 30 minutes left. If I account for like 3 hours, then surely I'll be able to finish, right? Even with my speed? Lovely but lonely. Aw, I'm glad that you're less lonely now. Okay, rise from the ashes. Surely. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh, poor Gumshoe. He's actually really grown on me, okay? Gumshoe from the very beginning, like from the first chapter when I was still getting used to everyone, he was really annoying. But now he's just like a really dumb himbo who has the biggest, like, crush, platonic crush on Edgeworth that I've ever seen. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? He's not a detective anymore. You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around all around while on duty. And to top it off, you called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here. She asked me to give you this if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. Oh, that's such a cute book. Look at him. It's like Sherlock Holmes if he was like a chick. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth! The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's all been ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused the man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? Well, when you put it like that, I guess this trial really is... Nobody's winning this trial. If Sherlock Holmes was an itty-bitty yellow chicken fetus... he's just a slightly overgrown egg. You've got to be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Okay, here we go. Here I go. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well... Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and, Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. I mean, it still could, just because I'm calling the witness. What if I call one of the witnesses that you struck a bargain with, you know? Still a moot point, but I see where he's coming from. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. The judge has got to be the wishiest, washiest to date. Oh my god, I don't... Where is this taking place? Like, in the USA, right? Like some sort of weird mismatch of like the USA and Japan? How has he not been like kicked off the bench yet? Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Feels like a British courtroom? I thought it was like a mix of like Japan and New York. Maybe not New York, like Japan and the States. Did we get any answers? We just started, don't worry. I say. TLDR, the little bit is that the prosecution will not be calling any witnesses because they're afraid that Edgeworth may have like manipulated them. So instead, we're calling the witnesses. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance? If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls? Bring out the real murderer. It's gotta be this guy. I'm scared of him. He's fake, but I'm still scared of him. I feel like the scariest people are the ones who look all smiley, you know? Because you don't know what to expect from them when they get mad. Like, at least with people who are always mad, you kind of expect them to always be mad. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he would still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. I do love his character, the police chief's character. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. Oh, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Don't they only say acting when, like, you're temporary? Like, whenever I'm at work and they say, like, there's an acting whatever, that means, like, you're just acting until that person comes back or, like, they can find a permanent replacement, right? Unless he's doing confession here. Like, he's just acting. I see what you're doing there, Beetle. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered the prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all this. Then either you're very brave or very foolish. You're aware, of course, that a police chief has all kind of weapons at his... Is this a threat in court? This has got to be a threat, right? You're not allowed to... I bet he's the type of person to go like, oh, it's not a threat. It's a promise. You know? I bet he's that type of person. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse. What? What? Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. It's just a little joke type. Oh. Okay. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. I bet if I click like press him, it's gonna be like him. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. Can we get the we slipped up in writing? When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Yes, you do. Otherwise, why is it in your safe? Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. Ooh. Oh. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Okay, first of all, let's double check what my evidence is. Let's read this. Rule 1, no evidence, and Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the trial. No evidence shall be shown without the approval. So the police need to approve it, and it must show that it is relevant to the case. Okay. Objection! If he bonked his head, how did he write M? No, wrong person. Neil was the Marshall. Marshall was the one who wrote Emma's head name. The dude who died. The guy who went flying into the armor. But yeah, now thinking about it, how did he... If he was just hanging there, how was he able to get to this thing? Because I'm pretty sure, I think this fell on the ground, right? Or it's on like the shelf or something. If Marshall went flying into the armor and was being held up by the armor, how was he able to write on this thing? Normally, you just have to present it in advance so the prosecutor can examine it. And then the defense also needs to know that you have the evidence. The defense and the prosecution need to have the same evidence. This screwdriver. This has got to happen in this trial because it has the word Gant in it, in the description. I'm a very scientific investigator, guys. It says the word Gant, so therefore Gant must have something to do with it. This one also says the word Gant in it, so therefore... I'm still so mad about this. Like, I could have sworn the whole, like, the evidence is written down. I thought it was this. Anyway. As I recall, a ceremony was being held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. What was the defendant Lanasky? Was the defendant Lanasky also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. We slipped up. Power outage didn't help. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. Oh, don't be saying that. You guys split up. He runs into the murderer and dies, and you go, oh, he got lucky. Oh, Jesus. Was this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when the knife went through his heart. Oh my god. This is all on record. Jesus. Can you imagine being freaking Jake and listening to the police chief talk about your brother like this? Probably not as shocked as Neil was when the knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and the serial killer were lying in a... Oh, that's why it's over here like this. All tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls. Lana and Emma. Maybe I'm just making this up, but I could have sworn Lana said that she took Emma out of the room. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Grant isn't in the... No, I don't think it was elected. It's because of this SL9 case that he got promoted, I think. And then, after he got promoted, he moved Lana into the prosecution role. How did he hit his head? I'm guessing maybe... I actually don't know. It's like, if Emma pushes Marshall, and with Marshall having enough force to get impaled, that would mean that he probably hit Dark on his way to being impaled? What's the timeline advance with this new info? It's basically the same. He's just saying that he got there late because he went downstairs instead of upstairs. Was what Emma drew? No, Emma drew what happened right before she pushed him. That's why it looked like one guy was stabbing the other guy. But she said she passed out right after seeing that, no? She said that, but then she amended her testimony saying that she remembered pushing the guy. Because she saw one guy with a knife and was like, I need to save the other guy, and then shoved the guy with a knife. AKA Marshall. The knife was broken in her drawing. Because the knife was this thing. She saw... the knife was this knife right here. So the guy holding the knife was actually this guy because he had the trophy. So she shoved the guy holding the knife, which was this guy. You need a paper or something with all these details? Maybe we'll scribble something if I have time after this. How did you know that? Because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk? That's right, I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor? Yes. Anyway, the knife wasn't a knife, but the trophy? Yeah, I guess the knife and the trophy was removable. Which is kind of dumb because I thought trophies were supposed to be sturdy, but you know, whatever. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Okay, but you covered for her. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're gonna stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. Which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana admitted to the forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Link Gant to the incident. I feel like I know what it is, but I'm kind of nervous. Let's save this first. Edgeworth is I feel like Edgeworth has been helping for the past like 2 cases. You know, he's trying to win, but also get us to get the truth. I feel like what ties him to the forgery, it's either this one, because no, this one, we don't know what this is, so this would have nothing to do with it. I think it has to be this, because the final fragment was found in Chief Gant's safe. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. This has got to be the most awkward moment in court when Phoenix goes into court. It's like, no, I have evidence that you actually forged something. Okay, then how did you get it? I broke into your office and then broke into your safe and then stole it, which is how I have it. Like, dude. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you have played a part in the illegal investigation. The rule of evidence. The rule of evidence. You can't be presenting stuff without... But then again, we've been doing this for the past, like, 5 stories. Chain of custody, you have to throw all of it out. None of it is admissible in evidence. Committing petty crimes for justice is the least of their concerns. Everybody does crimes. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with it? Well, you were the one who snuck... Exactly. You were the one who snuck into my office and found the evidence. Second-hand embarrassment hitting me like a truck. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know? Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy! Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. Didn't you already fire this dude? Oh, what? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. You already fired him. Oh, so when we do it, it's bad now. Oh, are we not supposed to do crime with solving crime? I think I got my job description mixed up. Bro works for free? No, apparently he's gonna pay to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office. And in relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Let's see, what was it? A jar fragment and a list? No, but like that's what happened when I was in school. Whenever I wanted to take like... We had like a whole course that was basically just internship. We had to pay for the course in order to intern. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene won't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. No one here! Why do I have to follow protocol when no one else has followed protocol? Judge, you don't even follow protocol. The judge doesn't even follow protocol. Why do I have to? It's probably because he's a judge and I'm just a lowly defense attorney. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh boy. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but do you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today as well, you know. Alright, Udgy, in return though. I know. That place... Isn't this a conflict of interest? The fact that you're going out for a meal, I'm guessing, with the judge, as a witness? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? I knew he was gonna blame us for this, but I'd appreciate if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? Oh my god! Phoenix! I'll have you know, back in the day I once broke into a cow ranch into... Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have the proof to the contrary, you're gonna need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Rito's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced someone as slimy as this guy. No, Von Karma was pretty slimy. What do you mean by that? This is all really hypothetical, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found in the crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. So you're saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. And wouldn't that be convenient, right? The chief is talking about a possibility. As long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, righto. Think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene won't help me out. Yes, it will. It gets Lana in your pocket. The bed and breakfast you had worked for had summer interns from Ukraine hospitality schools. They would go to Michigan to work as hospitality interns and make them clean rooms all summer. Eee. I almost went into hospitality because I grew up just working in so many retail jobs and everything. I was like, you know what? Hospitality, basically the same thing. I could probably work in a hotel somewhere. You're all out of order. This whole trial's out of order. It literally is. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What's this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is a sufficient motive. Oh! ho, ho. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without the case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing the finger, you might end up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motive for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. No, he still did it for himself. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's all in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. You know how I said that, what was it? Lana frustrated me a lot because of her unwillingness to cooperate. You know who actually is the one who frustrates me the most out of this entire game? The judge. The judge is the one who actually frustrates me the most. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. There had been something in it for him. Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone else? Would his accomplice have been... What does he mean by accomplice? Like, Lana was like an unwilling accomplice. Right? Because, like, who's in the picture? Just Lana. Just him and Lana. They didn't update his picture. They didn't update his profile picture. That's funny. I like him. Mike Meekins, like him. He's dead. He's a jerk. I don't think he has anything to do with it. He has no reason to hide his brother's murder. Not when he's trying to open something in now. She wouldn't be an accomplice because I feel like if these two were the accomplice, he would have gotten rid of them. You know? He would have just like killed these two off. Her, he probably wouldn't, if she was the accomplice, he wouldn't kill her off because why would he kill someone off if he has something on them? So maybe that's why he killed this guy. Because there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that were on the original team. Emma wouldn't have been the accomplice. Gumshoe? Hell no. Edgeworth? No, I don't see him as an accomplice, even if he had a bit of a shady past. I think the only person... See, even this guy has a profile picture and he's dead too. The only person who could logically be someone who was like an accomplice but still be alive is her. True, but you might not have helped anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might... Exactly. Thinks he's a cowboy, right? Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a... Someone show me this guy's law school test results. Someone show me some proof why this guy is a judge, please. That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? The one person who said that she forged. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Love that series. Who will want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from this judge? Does the baldness not make him an instant judge? Does that mean that Wright is gonna be a judge in the future? Because with all of these cases, I don't see him going bald from stress. He would be able to use chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with You cannot make this up. Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as it. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, all of this amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Or which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Oh my god, Edgeworth isn't even hiding that he's helping us at this point. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Just had no one ever. All the cool kids play with puppets, at least fired up Sims. Can we stop threatening people in front of the judge, right? You know what? Honestly, at this point, the judge is the best witness. If you were to commit any crime, do it in front of this judge. I'm just saying. Like, I feel like I could, you know... I feel like I could be blackmailing someone right in front of this guy. And he'll be like, oh my god, you guys are such good friends! I take a baseball bat to a car and it's like, oh my, that car must have hurt you. I'm so sorry about that. What proof do we have? I have no idea yet. I don't know where this is going. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious, huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the police chief of blackmail and murder? That's impossible. Dude, what happened to impartiality? Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. Too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Oh my god, we're teaming up! We're teaming up! Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then, let's see what Mr. Wright got. It better be good. Show us evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Bruce Goodman. Oh, shoot. This one's SL9. That's SL9. That's SL9. Security. Unstable jar. This could be... No, this one's also SL9. That's not it. We already used this, I think. This one... No. This one... Potentially. Brought back to his office by Gant's request. But why? This is from a different case. Traces of blood from Goodman and Lana. Parking lot. See, I've been thinking about this, right? In order for Bruce Goodman's body was found in Edgeworth's car. What if it was like, oh, I need to make sure... How do I make sure that Edgeworth is not going to go to his car? Send him on an errand somewhere else, right? But there was also this one. This one? Wrapped in the defendant's muffler. This one was wrapped in Lana's muffler, so it has nothing to do with Gant. It's gotta be an errand that he won't use his car for, right? Yes. But the prosecutor's office is in the same building as the police department, isn't it? It's just that the prosecutor's office is upstairs. The detective's offices are downstairs. So the ceremony was being held in the police department. Goodman's body was in the garage, which is underground. So in order to send... Right? So this one... So in order to get Edgeworth away from his car, you would send him back upstairs, right? Back to Gant's office. This one? But there's also this, that I think both of these have Gant's name on them. This one and this one. This one by his request. But I feel like the screwdriver... The screwdriver is not as strong of evidence as the ID card log. Because the screwdriver, we can be like, oh, you know, this Edgeworth said that Gant told him to take the screwdriver upstairs. But this is also like he said, she said, you know, like Edgeworth could be like, oh, Gant told me to bring this up. But then Gant could be like, no, I didn't. The heck are you talking about? Do you have proof that I asked you to do this? You know what I mean? So even though this has Gant's name on it over here, this one has at least Gant's name here. Or not his name, but his ID number. But it doesn't have his name. It just has his ID number. Where did the murder happen? I'm not entirely sure where the murder happened, but the body was found in the parking lot. This one was found in the prosecutor's office crime scene, so in the parking lot. Edgeworth parked at 7:12. SL9. Could have been someone using his number, but no, this is a key card slot. So it's digital. It's not like a signed thing. But I think in the past it said something like, "Oh, executive officers don't need to." I don't know. I think I have a good feeling about these two, but I don't know which one it is. Who does the 7th belong to? Gant. It belongs to the police chief. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There's one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office required a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits. You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. Same as the remaining ID card. This is just digging us into a hole too, y'all. No wonder Jake Marshall turned country. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order, order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Oh, he's pissed. Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright will be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm the chief of police, whether it's evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. What if... Goodman's note could be possible? But I think this could also be possible. See, a half-written document dated 2/12/21 can be submitted. He lost his ID card. Yes, that's right. Because Marshall took his ID card. And therefore Goodman had to go request a new one, but it can only be requested from the chief of police. So why did they go? Because he was missing his ID card. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give the report to the chief of police. Yet you're in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh! Detective Goodman took a form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. Oh, that's a great face. I love it when the culprit looks like this, don't you? I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. He went out and said it. He said murder. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman? Exactly. But wait, the chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes, now that you mention it. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Nah. Oh my god. He got struck by lightning. Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's offices. That the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed in the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was just a useless clue, just taking out this... How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. This? That's a whole lot of plurals. Okay, they said a useless clue. The most useless clue so far is this thing. Something that can move. Why would have to go to the prosecutor's office? No, the prosecutor's office's parking lot, because that's where the body was found. The most useless items were this and this. Was allegedly dancing in the evidence room at the time. Let's say he murdered Goodman in... Those two went into the evidence room together. Those two go into the evidence room together. And then I'm assuming Gant kills Goodman in the evidence room. And now he needs to move the body to the parking lot. How would he do it? How would he do it? Stuff him in the panel? That's what I'm thinking. Because then in order to move it, you can probably put his body over here and just... right? The chain of evidence? There is no such thing in this world. You can claim the body as evidence if it's in... I guess so, if he's like the chief of police. Okay, let's try this. If not this, then the screwdriver. Well? I see. Maybe I'll use this later to move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Huh? I'll help you dispose of it. Are they planning my murder in... Chief Gant stayed at the PD and Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office. At least one possible way he could have moved the body. How did he... The only problem is how did he get him to do it? Wait, is the prosecutor's... Is the prosecutor's office not in the same building as the police department? I thought it was. Oh, the rules... Oh, no, that's not to move evidence, it's to present evidence. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department, and unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the trial. So this is on submitting evidence. Oh, wait, okay. Screwdriver was used to open the trunk. Wait, maybe you're right. Wait, okay, let's switch gears. Assuming the prosecutor's office is not in the same building as the police department, and the murder happened at the police department, but it ends up in the prosecutor's parking lot. in Edgeworth's car. That would mean, how did he get him to do it? So it's gotta be, the other him must be Edgeworth. So it has to be this, right? So Gant tells Edgeworth to bring... I thought, okay, I was looking at this wrong because he was like, oh, how did he move it? I thought it meant like, oh, was he able to move it around? No, what he means was, how was he able to get it to the... So he puts the body in Goodman's car, in Edgeworth's car, tells Edgeworth to drive the screwdriver back to Edgeworth's office? And... Or maybe you're right, maybe they just did use the screwdriver to open the trunk, and then gave the screwdriver to Edgeworth. Or asked Edgeworth to come over and give the screwdriver to Gant to bring this... Well, Edgeworth is at his office. Gant calls Edgeworth to come over and take a screwdriver, because the screwdriver ended up in Edgeworth's office. While Edgeworth was at the police department, Goodman shoves the body inside Edgeworth's trunk, gives the screwdriver to Edgeworth, and then tells Edgeworth to bring it back to his office. And unknowingly, Edgeworth drives the body back to the prosecutor's office, I'm guessing. Oh my god. Yeah, I think so. Oh. Maybe that piece of evidence really did have something to do with this case. How could the chief have moved the body? I thought it was like, how did he move the body from the evidence room to the car? Not from the car to the... Not from the police department to the prosecutor's office. To move the... Okay. So how did he get him to do that? Gant got Edgeworth using the screwdriver. That's how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted... Yes! Okay, so he want... Okay. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought it back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief? Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. What if he pins it on Edgeworth? What if he's like, I had nothing to do with it. It was all Edgeworth. Edgeworth killed Goodman, and then he drove it over to prosecute. Like, what if he does that? Order, order, order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous... Freaking... Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photograph of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. The photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time is up. My time is up? Sorry, Wright, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we need... We have to make it. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're gonna just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, you think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is... Stop Stop kissing his ass. This judge is such a kiss ass. Oh my god. Logically, as a judge, you would have a higher standing than the freaking Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without any concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body? Why? Frick, I don't... Guys, this is why I would not be able to be a lawyer. I cannot be a lawyer. Whatever was in his safe only had 2 things. And both of them had to do with SL9, I think. Not the current case. I don't have any footprints or anything. Hold on, I'm saving. What did the detective need from the safe? The chief's safe? We were just in there to see what he had. Okay, think. Oh, in the evidence room? Oh, he just needed to transfer the evidence. Because after a case is closed, it stays in evidence for a while, and then they have to transfer it into, like, I don't know, outer storage or something. So that's the only reason why he was in the evidence room. Is what he was supposed to put in there, and nope. Well, some of the evidence ended up in the chief's safe, but that had nothing to do with it. That was part of the SL9 case, not the current case. I think. Okay, let's take a step back. What evidence have I not used? Process of elimination. I didn't use this yet. Is this organ music? I didn't use this yet. I didn't use this yet. I didn't use this yet. Take me out to the ball game. So he might have been onto something for the SL9 case and Gant killed him to take the evidence? Maybe. Maybe proof of, like, forgery? But that's assuming that Gant took the evidence after he killed Goodman. That's completely different from, like, the other assumption, which could be that he just put the evidence in his safe since 2 years ago. You know what? I saved. It's no use showing evidence that I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present I have no conclusive evidence. Huh. See, Udgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble when you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. I can't believe we just let him walk. Penalize it? I warned you earlier. This is an affront to our senior officer in our nation's law enforcement. Frick. What? Since when do we penalize anything for trying to look for the truth? Lady Luck, huh? Maybe I should have a word with... Guys, maybe I should just become a police officer, because apparently becoming a police officer means I can't be judged for anything, right? Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth, another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse... Lady! Phoenix! Pay attention, he said lady who knows the truth. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor, the defense calls forth... Lana. The defendant. Miss Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. The court will take its final recess for... See, this is where I find it really funny, where he's like, I'm scared that Edgeworth is going to manipulate the witness. It's like, okay, even if we call the witness, doesn't mean that the witness hasn't been manipulated. If I call Lana, and let's say Lana has already struck a deal with the prosecution, that's still useless. Anyway, I just need to trust that now that everything's out in the open, that hopefully Lana will take our side, and that she won't screw us over because we expose the truth. In 15 minutes, we'll reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on! Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were gonna eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. This is intimidation of a witness. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I got a lunch date to meet. Okay, if there aren't any further objections. Oh my lord, this guy has the spine of wet spaghetti. This court is now in recess. Hi, Bella. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe for next chief. Oh, yes. I think his name said Detective Gumshoe before. Now it's just Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work already. At your office. My office? Sure! I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he... Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How's he always getting the upper hand? How fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Lana? Oh, never- Emma! Emma! Are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I feel almost relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. I think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by the terrible man, and she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do everything and anything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal! Hell yeah! Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Why are you glaring at me? Don't glare at me. The Bricks and Minifigs and please collab. I love that you called it a collab. I never would. Oops. I hit no. It's okay. I'll save as soon as this happens. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? Hold up. I need to save. I didn't save just now. Miss Lana Sky, you're the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth? Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. This guy. I pray that she's on our side. Please. Emma is here. Emma is next to us. Do not betray your sister like this. Your sister already knows everything. Just truth. Justice. What's the Japanese version of Lady Liberty? Lady Liberty? Lady Themis? Please. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail thing. No! I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. Lana. If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. That's a lot of shit. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. It's just a phoenix, right? Odaiba? How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. Yeah, in that case, your old grandpa, get off the bench. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. So, did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Yeah, well, now she's back and she's not traumatized. Well, I mean, I'm sure she's probably traumatized, but you know. Lana, so that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago? When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover this scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? Wait, then where was the knife? The Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. It was me. I don't know. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is all what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound, then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to act for the sake of others. Why did you plant the knife? Or why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright, even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Skye fabricated the knife. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. Got nothing to do with Emma. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. Get Lana to talk more? If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Wait, but I already chose everything. Did I choose the wrong one? Oh, I can't choose the other one. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there instead? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. Oh, thank God. The reason Miss Skye moved the body.
Oh my.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Why? Wait. That's not what Gant said. He said he saw when he got there. You're betting money that Gant was there first? Oh, and then I guess Lana came out. I was like, no, don't do that. Like that? He said the jar, you mean? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. It would? Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have broken during the struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. Okay, go back to the jar. The jar broke during their struggle. The jar broke during their struggle. During the events threatened my plan. In order to show that Dark... When you first found the body, the jar was already shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. The jar must have been broken during their struggle. The jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. If the jar was shattered, how did he write Emma on the jar? Hold on. Save! Save! Is that right? Like, oh, the pieces of the jar that shattered during the events. How did they write Emma? So how did she see the funny clown guy? You're right! If they were struggling already... Our first inconsistency? I can't... My brain! Okay, let's try presenting the jar. Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed, then the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring everyone's attention to a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plans." That's right. You have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah! He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order, order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards where we're heading. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. Yeah, clearly you didn't. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. All of them were so big! Yeah, how about that massive piece that was in the... That massive piece that was in the chief's safe. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. So the jar was already broken? It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. Okay, but also, there was a power outage. How were you able to see any blood? It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. Then how did you know something was written on it? So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Anna, you do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Oh my god, how romantic! You know, like those like tropes where the guy would do something like really stupid and she's like, oh, how romantic! Freaking Daphne from Mystery Inc. And each time Fred's like, oh yeah, I read rather, you know, I know it wasn't you because you're not that ugly. And she goes like, oh, how romantic! It's like, Jesus Christ! Gant used the jar to knock out the serial killer and that's how it broke? Ooh, maybe. If Gant got there first. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. Someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, I keep reading that as Professor. You wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Anna, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. But how could you have seen with the power out? It would have been pitch black in that office. That's what I'm saying! A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never missed anything. I got every last piece. No, you didn't. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you'll legally rearrange the crime scene? Yes. I don't have any excuses for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we got to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I've figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's only one final possibility that might turn everything around. I feel like it's like, oh, I got rid of all of them. It's like, da-da-da-da-da-da. No, you didn't. Surprise! Miss Kai, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered... Maybe you're right. Maybe Gant was there first. She gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first... Oh my god! You were right! You were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? Oh my god, I'll be so honest, I didn't actually believe that he was there first. I was like, yeah, that's a possibility, but I actually didn't believe that. I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Huh, can you believe that? Okay, retire, Gramps. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. What was that? There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! Oh no. His bestie. His beloved. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hit one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happens afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believes that her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Wait, so Emma didn't kill Dark? Marshall? Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Oh, so Gant... Oh, I see what's happening here. I see what they're talking about. Marshall was killed. Gant got there first, before Lana. Notices what happens. He sees Dark. He sees Emma. And he sees Marshall. Marshall's dead. He arranges the scene to make it look like Emma killed Marshall. But remember, Emma passed out. It's all coming together. He made it seem like Emma killed Marshall, and then he leaves. He shatters the jar. He writes Emma's name, and then he shatters the jar. He leaves. Lana comes running in, thinks that Emma killed Marshall, and was like, oh no! And then he comes in and is like, we can hide this, don't worry. Even though he knows that Emma didn't kill Marshall. He will only manipulate the scene so that Lana thinks so that he can manipulate Lana into blackmailing her. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. We got it. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their client. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana? Maybe Wright after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Emma has like memorized the wrong thing like 4 times. I relate to her. Alright, good night, Devin! Have fun lurking! Slandered by our own client, right? Remember Gant's joke about Lucky that he didn't run into him? Run into who? That he didn't run into... Dark? When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on a suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor before. Nearby. See, Emma and Dark were already lying unconscious. And when I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it was all really a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Hell yeah. Unbelievable, the body was impaled on the armor sword. We mentioned this! Judge, lock in! You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed, but I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really... Is it in the book? That he didn't run into Gant? Dark? Very well, Mr. Wright, please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Is it this? Yo! Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged everything. Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest, could that be? The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this? It had Emma's print on it. Yes, she always does carry a camera. That cloth, it has fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. No. No, but it can't be Emma. It cannot be Emma. Look at this. Look at this. It can't be Emma, because even if Emma's fingerprints are on it, why is there no blood on that fabric? It's not you, baby. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flesh out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Baby, it wasn't you! Don't worry. What? Oh, you jerk. Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant, what? Now you want me to make me out as a bad guy too? If so, I like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeit your right to make a statement of any sort. Sucker. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around. Oh, that's so good! That's so cold. I think this might be like... I feel like this might be the coldest line in the entire series we've played so far. That's crazy. Okay, sit down. So what? You think I'm worried? So sorry to disappoint you, but I do not need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt? Is that true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one who shows who really killed Professor Marshall? Prosecutor Marshall? I need to stop saying professor. Yeah, I do need to show it. But if I judge glaze-off moment, you're in a glaze-off competition, but your opponent is the judge. Wait, you don't have to because you got it illegally from his safe. Yeah, but if I don't present it now, I don't know if I'll ever have an option to, you know? Like, if I say no, I feel like they'll be like, you know? Have I saved? What if we turn it around? We are very good at turning it around. Just make up more stuff with it. No, but here's the thing. Even if we show it, I know that it wasn't Emma. Because look at this. This is what the fabric looks like. Right? This is what the fabric looks like. Look at it. There's no blood on it. There's no blood on it. If they had cut this handprint off of Marshall's bloodied body, why is there no blood on it? Look at this. He probably cut out that cloth. Like, Emma said that she remembers pushing Marshall. So we know that she did push him, but she didn't kill him. She pushed him, got her fingerprints on him. Gant comes in, cuts out the handprint, and then stabs him. You know what I mean? So I feel like if I show it, he's the turnabout king, right? Okay, I saved. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. All right, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's. No, baby. Now let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. See, well, we should have told her earlier. We should have told her earlier that it was her prints. Why did we hide it until now? Oh, whoops. For the plot. It's a piece of leather cloth? Yes. It most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim onto the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are these? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Emma Sky's. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. It appears we have our killer. No. No. Frick. No. Everything hinged on that. In the end, Lano's... Okay. It's okay. I saved. Yes. Cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. Oh. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. The conclusion. I could have made my argument. You guys saw my argument, right? That's so dumb. Either way, I could have won that. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means the chief of police, has been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in history of police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gal, Righto. Well, I can't let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit it? Also, where did Lana go? Did he just like shove her off the stand? Like every time he shows up, there's always someone on the stand. So like, did he just like give her a good old shove off the stand? Like, where did she go? I think this happened last time too. I think it was like Emma was on the stand and then he shows up. This works too? Yeah, my argument was sound! But I revoked my right to testify and testify anyway. I think there are some criminals who do that. I've seen some like interrogation footage where someone will be like, I want my lawyer! I'm not gonna say anything until I have my lawyer, and then they talk anyway. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. I made it look like the blame lay with her sister. That when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. Oh, you assistant, Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body, then move the body across the room. And I ended up using the evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that the girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hit the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Ho ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's when I kept 1 more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that at being chief and all. That's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You could have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, the victory's mine. Oh, I guess this is where I have to show it. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright, then let's see the conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who really murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh yes. At last, you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Get a Meji. Ah! Shows evidence, loses. Shows evidence 5 seconds later, wins! Don't you love game logic? Is now when I get to make my argument? I hope so. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it, Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he is reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. You should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whose fingerprints these belong to... Why are we take-thatting? Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. Why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh ho ho! You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and yet you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it! How could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew those fingerprints were... whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Huh, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Yeah, what did you do, dude? Bro, what did you do? That's a serious offense. Dude, you did it for 2 years. Shut up. Hypocrite moment, right? I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. I love how calm he is now. Oh my god. Go! Do the blood thing! Which could have been mentioned 5 minutes ago, but... Game moment! Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Gotta be this image. And what exactly is that supposed to be? This is a picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt was showing underneath. Hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so then, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armored sword. Ugh. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! Finally all over. Oh yes, cry. Oh, that was close, Wright. You almost had me. Sorry, but you have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, old Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wright? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? I don't have any evidence I can present at this time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. That's not fair. Did you really think you could best me in court? Well, you're like sweating. Like I was this morning. Looks like the last laugh is on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, true, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Huh? Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha, so the evidence is illegal. Shut up, let us talk. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. He can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. You can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. It's gotta be this. It's gotta be the book. Shut thy mouth. Here's my evidence, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in the book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. So, couldn't we have made this argument about the piece of the jar that was found inside his safe? You know what? I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. It goes without saying, I did not have the approval from the police department. Again. Couldn't I have made this argument about the jar? Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when the picture was presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No, he's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. Sucker. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. No. 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 Oh, he's going. Going. Oh. Oh. Hello, Shixon? Hello. Thank you. And welcome. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around that department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insists on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand this all over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. The accursed knife. Oh. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have led more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might have stumbled in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk. But what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Okay, that's facts. Lawyers? Especially since he seems to be like Crown Prosecutor. Wait, do you guys have Crown Prosecutors? I guess it's just Chief Prosecutor, right? But he's not a Chief Prosecutor, he's just a prosecutor. Wait, are Chief Prosecutors in the States the same as Crown Prosecutors in Canada? Leaving the prosecution's car aside? How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to do it, but I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So... you left the jar fragment and the glove. Yeah, it looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I gotta hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Okay, but he's not alone. He has Wright. He has Phoenix. He has his husband. Did you notice? I wrote this in my description, but when I was making the thumbnail for this stream, their colors. It makes the bisexual flag. It makes the colors of the bisexual flag. No, it doesn't make the flag, but it makes the colors. They're different. Not so different, you and I. Everyone just needs one bad day. It's like that thing where it's like, we are the same person. We just made different choices. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji? What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are long gone now, Aji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. Intentional. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Guy, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. Why not just tell it now? Tell it to the court. Tell it to the world. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. Actually, I still have a question. I get to keep my job, right? Right? I mean, I don't make money as is, but like, right? I get to keep my job? I don't... Am I getting punished? Do I still get punished? I'm sorry, Miss Guy, I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Oh, she looks so pretty when she's smiling like this. When she's like, you know, not sad. She was pretty before. She's prettier now. You're prettier when you smile. Miss Guy. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal this has been for you. It was nothing. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. What do you mean he guided me? You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job! He's such a sin. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Yeah, you included, Judge! Miss Guy? Yes, Your Honor? You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Hell yeah. I feel like they could like write that in like gold and glitter or something. Hell yeah. That is all. This court is adjourned. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. But her 2 years were in vain. She did 2 years trying to protect Emma for nothing. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I could see why Mia Faye thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, is it because she didn't thank Emma? She didn't mention Emma at all? You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Yeah, does Gumshoe get his job back too? It's not just me. Truly our haiku to the top. Oh. Yes, I am. I'll come back later. Oh. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around. Aww. And to top it off, you call it here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh. Are you here again because of my sister? Nope. Not this time. I came here today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana, should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. It was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think was about keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Yes, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. And now, I realized I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. She's so pretty! Oh, Emma. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And this is from there that we can move towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching those two sisters make up. Mr. Wright? Mr. Gumshoe? Me? Thank you both for all you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Aww. I was so close to tearing up. Oh my god, look at his face. Stop glaring. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand, and believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them, but in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might be able to pull something like Chief Gant did. I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. By the power of friendship, you were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Huh? Oh, shut up! Shut up, is it this? Because he had one half and I had one half? There's no way, right? Because I didn't present this at all. I only presented one half. He presented the... Just get married, you two. What the hell? picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we couldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's drawing. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. And by the power vested in all of us, by the power vested in the Fluffles, I pronounce you prosecutor and defense attorney. So romantic. In this world, there's nothing more. Husband and wife, we don't need that. Boyfriend, no. Girlfriend, nuh-uh. It's prosecutor and defense attorney, apparently. If you excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Like, let's be real. Mia and Lana? Edgeworth and Phoenix? There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't ship these guys at all. In fact, I hate these. But, like, Edgeworth's father and Manfred von Karma, weren't those two always on opposite ends or something? Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can help it let you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know, it seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Haters to lovers. I better be going. It's friends to haters to lovers? Okay, I'll be by to visit soon. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Oh, it's from the same series! Look at that, it's a little scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And so, another case came to an close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Something about Edgeworth coming in last and being smack dab in the center of your life. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it might be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me now. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on. Come on, guys. Let's go. Lana can foot the bill. She's the chief prosecutor. She probably has a nice amount somewhere. And so that ends. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Yikes, I thought I was a goner for the moment there in the end, though. They overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'll be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show you can't shake me off that easily. Just like gum on a shoe? Yeah. Another ace game down. We still have like, what is it, like 7 more? More than that? Meekins! My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir! Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. I mean, there are worse people to look up to, I guess. I could have sworn this thing was a... Really? I just have to watch this guy move around? Oh! Oh? There were definitely moments where I was like really salty about the game. Oh, he's in jail too. What is it? Can't you see I'm having a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? You know what? You know what, Jake Marshall? Hopefully he didn't get a long sentence. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Wright way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer's as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. I guess. She said the thing! She said the thing! I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Jesus. Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, got it. Bro, I think it's time for you to retire. My guy. Maya! Ah, nothing soothes the soul like country air. Sometimes I do miss you saying objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Do we get to see Mia? Or Edgeworth? Look at that. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh! Oh, Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. Oh no, did he actually resign? What's going on? Oh, he actually resigned? I mean, kind of makes sense, I guess. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Pio! That's so cute! Aww. Also, Emma, you're using your left hand. Don't only criminal. Isn't that a thing where it's like the police use their right and then the criminals use the other hand? Like to mock the police salute or something? Emma? Well, I guess Edgeworth isn't in. So the next one, is it Justice for All or Trials and Tribulation? It's Edgeworth again. Oh, this one's gonna be a long one too. Pretty lady. Cute girl. Right? I think the next one is Justice for All. Mia! This guy who looks like he came out of like a Marvel story or something. What's up, Pinocchio? Maya's back! Oh my god, look, it's Edgeworth in his fancy suit. Bridge to the turnabout. Wait, how much was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one also looks like it's gonna be pretty long. We're in this for the long haul, guys. Maybe I'll take a break from Ace Attorney before coming back to it. Oh, this one seems pretty short. This one's massive. This one's very short. This one's quite long. And also... yeah. Okay. That was good. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. I'm glad Emma... that whole thing about Emma being like the murderer and then like not being the murderer is kind of crazy. I mean, I guess I should have figured. Freaking Damon Gant. I guess by the end of it, I didn't mind it that much. I don't mind Damon Gant. Like throughout it, it was definitely frustrating. Damon Gant was definitely frustrating, but I didn't hate him. You know what I mean? Like that ending moment, it seems like he accepted it, which is more than I can say for like, you know, a lot of criminals. And then, oh yeah, I really didn't mean the case is the longest and most complex. Like, I think the main thing about this case, I like the story. I hated some of the gameplay. Not all of it, I just hate some of it. Like, especially the parts that weren't very intuitive. I feel like there was no way I was going to be able to get through this game without a strategy. Yeah, when they made me present the closet, I feel like... I mean, I get it once they explained it about how I needed him to tell me to present it. Because if I just presented it, it would have been illegal. So I see why, but... come on, we've talked our way out of like a more difficult situation. Surely we could have done that too. Right? And also, not to mention that freaking like moving the jug around so that it looks like the blue badger, that was ridiculous. A break from Ace Attorney, what will I do? Maybe I'll play another detective game. Or I guess I could continue on with Phoenix Wright. I don't do that very often anyway, so I guess I could continue. not like I have any like planned games, to be honest. So I could continue on with not Detective Conan. What the hell? Ace Attorney. We'll see. There's always potential. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking at my mountain. I'm actually doing that right now. I'm like, A lot of my games are like longer games, which is why I'm like, maybe I will just continue. Maybe I'll just continue on with Ace Attorney. Now I can enjoy. Yes, I will. All right, I guess I'll end the stream here. After I eat dinner, I'm gonna finish Mystery Inc. I'm so close to finishing Mystery Inc. You guys don't even understand. Watching Mystery Inc. is like the last thing I do at night, and when it's the weekend, it's the first thing I do in the morning or when I wake up. I even dreamt about Mystery Inc. last night. I'm so close to finishing. I'm like 4 or 5 episodes away. I'm so close. It's about to pop off. It is! I have so many. Oh my god. I'm probably gonna do an entire stream where all I do is just talk about Mystery Inc. Anyways, I'll see you guys whenever I do that. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you. That actually might be my next stream, depending on... I'll probably be able to finish it tonight. Let's be so real. Considering I sleep at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll probably finish it today. Thank you guys for being here. Bye bye. Take care.